Every BTS era tells a story. This one, we get to watch unfold together. Welcome back to the Arirang Chronicles. Episode 2 starts now. Yesterday's promo filled me with pure fangirl happiness. 7 men being chaotic together again. The laughter, the teasing, that unmistakable BTS energy. Bright, playful, almost Dynamite level joyful. But today's trailer felt very different. And I realized that contrast was probably intentional. Yesterday's promo gave us the chaos, the cuteness, the high energy. Today's trailer asked us to slow down, to reflect. And it worked. Because I've already come back to this draft several times today, adding thoughts as they arrive. The more I sit with the trailer, the more I keep returning to one choice. The music. Out of more than 300 BTS songs, they chose Mikrokosmos. You hear RM say,
"We promised our fans that we'd be back."
Then you hear Mikrokosmos, which isn't just another track in the BTS catalog. It's one of their songs for us fans. A song about the light each person carries. A song about a universe made up of millions of small stars. ARMY and BTS have written more than one song like that. We Are Bulletproof, The Eternal, Epilogue, Young Forever, 2-3. Songs that speak directly to the relationship between BTS and the people who stand beside them. So why Mikrokosmos? That question stayed with me as the trailer continued. Because the moment the music begins, something else appears. The palace. The first glimpses of the courtyard. The members standing individually against the architecture. And then the text appears. On March 21st, the world's biggest band is back. Sonically we hear Mikrokosmos. Visually we see BTS back at a place we've seen them before. Gyeongbokgung Hall at Gyeongbokgung Palace in Seoul. The main throne hall of the Joseon dynasty. A place where kings once held court. And suddenly those two things, the music and the location, connect in my mind.
Oh, Tang.
Okay, we are about to take a very brief Tang's tangent. But I promise you it does connect. Back in 2016, at the end of the first season of Bon Voyage, the members are sitting together reading a letter from Bang Si-hyuk. All except RM, who at that moment had lost his passport and couldn't join them in Finland. Which honestly feels like the most on-brand Bangtan travel mishap imaginable. In the letter Bang PD says something surprisingly vulnerable. When BTS first began, he says he pointed toward a distant place. A goal he hoped they might reach. But he admits he wasn't even sure himself if it was possible. And yet BTS didn't just reach that place. They went further, higher than he ever imagined. Then he confesses something else. That he has become greedy. That he wants their success to grow even bigger. That maybe one day, they could become the biggest and best band in the world. Or, as Netflix put it, the world's biggest band. As I watched the Netflix trailer, I realized something. The last time BTS stood in that palace they were filming their performance of Mikrokosmos. During BTS Week on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. The members performed Idol, Dynamite, and Mikrokosmos there. But the Mikrokosmos performance itself isn't the moment that stayed with me. It's something that happened between takes. The members received a phone call from Bang PD. Dynamite had debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And it had stayed there for a second week. The joy in that moment is unforgettable. They tease Bang PD for crying. But beneath the teasing you can see something deeper. Relief, pride, a dream becoming real. At the time that was their first #1. What none of them could know then was that 5 more would follow as a group. And 2 more as soloists. Jimin, Jungkook, and those solo #1s would happen during Chapter 2. The military enlistment era. Back then there was still a huge question hanging over everything. Mandatory military service was looming. Could BTS survive it? Would they survive it? History suggested it wasn't guaranteed. Artists sometimes reach incredible peaks only once. But now we're here. It's 2026. And BTS are once again standing in that same palace courtyard. Still 7. Still together. Their chemistry rekindled after 6 weeks working on their new album in the United States. Living together again. Something we'll soon see in the Netflix documentary releasing March 27. But the trailer itself is actually for something even sooner. The comeback live on March 21st. And that's another moment where things feel different. Because traditionally BTS comeback shows happened on Weverse or Korean music broadcasts. But now the stage is larger. Netflix. Available in 190 countries. Potentially reaching hundreds of millions of viewers. And that scale makes the palace setting feel almost ceremonial. Like a marker in time. A return. And of course, after writing down my own reactions, I did what every ARMY eventually does. I went online to see what everyone else had noticed. Because ARMY analysis is famously thorough. That's when I learned something I had completely missed. RM is wearing a silver spoon on a chain attached to his belt. A reference to Bepsai, crow tits and storks. A metaphor about generational inequality. About the younger generation being told simply to work harder while structural barriers remain. I hadn't noticed the spoon. What I had noticed was something else. All 7 members were dressed entirely in black. They were dressed entirely in black in the promo as well. The promo for the trailer. Not the trailer itself. Yes, apparently I am still making that joke. But the black clothing stayed in my mind. Because historically Korean kings sometimes wore black hanbok with gold embroidery. Or red with gold. Netflix red. Arirang red. This is how an ARMY mind works. Connections everywhere. Sometimes solid. Sometimes a little tenuous. But what struck me about their clothing was the absence of decoration. No gold embroidery. No obvious display of luxury. And that surprised me. Because individually BTS are ambassadors for brands ranging from Louis Vuitton to Calvin Klein. Their styling could easily scream prestige. But it didn't feel like that. Instead the feeling was almost casual. Comfortable. Maybe because they seemed so at ease walking through the palace grounds. Not like visitors, but like people returning to a place they know. Like off-duty kings. And that leads to another thought that stayed with me. One line from RM in the trailer. He says, 7 together we can do anything. Keep swimming. And that line immediately made me think of something BTS used to say in another era. Run. Run BTS. Run. Bulletproof. Run. For more than a decade that's exactly what they did. They ran. From debut to global success. From small stages to stadiums. From possibility to history. But running is exhausting. Running is urgent. Running means you're chasing something. Or trying not to fall behind. Swimming is different. Swimming is slower, more deliberate. You don't sprint when you swim. You endure. You move forward by rhythm. And if you're swimming in the ocean, that water stretches out in every direction. Beautiful, but also vast. Maybe even overwhelming. RM is credited as a writer on the song Swim, so I doubt the metaphor is simple. His lyrics rarely are. Keep swimming probably carries more than one meaning. Hope, endurance, movement, survival, maybe even a quiet acknowledgement of the scale of the ocean they now inhabit. But one thing feels certain. The running era brought them here. Now they're learning how to move through something even bigger. And they're doing it the same way they always have. Together. 7. Still swimming. Another moment in the Arirang Chronicles. Let's see where Bangtan takes us next.